Remember to subscribe and hit the notification button to keep up to date with our latest videos.
When your wallet does not allow you to make a purchase of a Focus RS, this is what you get. A 360 wheel horsepower Focus ST. So the question today is, honestly, is it worth it to get the Focus RS for an extra, a lot of money more than a Focus ST, a used Focus ST, or do you spend the money and modify a Focus ST to make more power than an RS, which this has? Definitely over 400 horsepower at the crank in this Focus ST. I think I'm correct in saying this is the most powerful front wheel drive car I've ever driven. So let's see how it does. So first things I noticed about the car, it is very drony. It goes from a 2.5 inch downpipe into a 3 inch exhaust. Full Cobb stage 3 tune. It's running 26 PSI and, like I said, 360 horsepower to the front wheel. So mad torque steer. But what the owner of this car, Matt, was telling me is that once traction's off, stability's off, all the systems are off, it really helps with torque steer, and it doesn't try to cut in and try to do weird funky stuff. Maybe if you're good at handling torque steer and you drive this every day, it would be good. But I am definitely, there's no torque steer in an MR2 turbo, so I don't have to deal with that ever. Sticky rubber and some nice open roads. I can already hear the blow-off valve, a lot of exhaust noise coming out the back, not so much intake. So as far as a daily goes, you can stuff a ton of power into. This and the Fiesta ST are two of the top American contenders. I think they are the top American contenders for that category. Great looking cars, easy to modify. There's a bunch of, Mount Tune, you got Cobb, you got a bunch of people willing to work on this car and tune this car, and already have with great success. So what you get is a very large amount of low and mid-range torque, thanks to a turbo that spools up very fast, modern technology, watermeth injection in Matt's car here. And those are the main ingredients to create a kind of a car you would not suspect to go fast and to beat you even down the drag strip or anything, but that's going to kill you in the corners if you're not careful. And you can still fit a bunch of people in here, which is the good thing. There are a few cheap bits in the interior. It's an American hatchback after all. And there's a lot of good resources online for these cars for good reason. They're great platforms and crazy fast. Very fast, okay? This has more power than a C5 Z06 from the factory. rumbles. You definitely get some rumbles. Yeah, there's some free-flowing exhaust back there. That is for damn sure. It's got a short shifter on it. Clutch feels great, super easy to drive, everything you'd expect from a daily driver in the interior. I don't really want to spend too much time talking about the interior. It's a Ford, it's an American hatchback, like I was saying. You get into any, you know, Cadillac, GM, Dodge, Ford kind of budget hatchback, and it's gonna be budget. That's, what else are you expecting? But no, it's good on the interior. The things that matter, the ergonomics, placement of pedals, placement of steering wheel and shifter, and the seat are all perfect. Speaking of seats, these Recaros are the best part of the interior by far. That and the shifter feels great, but specifically these Recaros are something that people would spend a lot of money on in the aftermarket, but Ford went ahead and partnered with Recaro in the ST and the RS, Focuses and Fiesta, and it works great. It's exactly what this car needs. I've driven a Fiesta without these seats, and it took away from the experience. Second will hook up maybe. Third hooks up, which is I would be a little bit frightened if third didn't hook up. This thing on a drag strip would be monstrous as well. I have a feeling this could pull definitely low 13s, if not high 12s. Very quick car and unassuming. It totally blends in. If you don't want to get pulled over, and well, the exhaust kind of gives it away, but beautiful exhaust, by the way. I don't know who makes that exhaust back there, but it looks unreal. If you want to be stealthy and not get pulled over, these are great cars to modify. Yeah, shifter feels really good. And this thing will definitely get sideways if you go too hot into a corner and then back off the throttle a little bit too abruptly. It will get sideways, easily correctable. Yes, basically, I mean, any front wheel drive car takes me a while to get used to, but you just have to use the throttle to get out of a slide, to basically modulate the slide. 6,500 RPM into third. Oh yeah. You know what I think it is? This car, it sounds like a rally car. It makes rally car noises. The exhaust sounds insane, but this definitely gives off all the right noises. And as far as the driving experience as a whole is concerned, you honestly, in my mind, you will be tough. You'll be hard pressed to find another car in this price point with this kind of ease of modification that will put as big of a smile on your face. Takes a little bit to spool up, even at like 4,000 RPM. Takes a second to spool, but once you do, the torque is just totally flat to redline. You can really feel it, the usability in this turbo. And even when you're not in boost, the engine still has plenty enough, like this is a light car. It still has plenty enough torque and power to get you around town comfortably. This car is definitely not safe. If you're not ready for it, the power will catch you off guard. And a lot of people, you know, like to shit on 4 cylinders too. Yeah, you know, 4 to, 65 is really where this car shines. The steering is kind of the Achilles heel of the driving inputs as far as I'm concerned. I know I said everything was perfect. Upon further inspection, the steering is not perfect. It has a springy feel to it. That's the best way I can describe it. Once you get into it, you only feel it really when you're coming back to center. Once you actually have the car set and in a corner, it's good. But yeah, it kind of bounces around a little bit. the tune on this car is perfect. Like, it's very happy doing whatever it is. And that's another thing. If you don't have the right tune, if you don't have a good tuner, all your parts will not work well, and the drivability could be compromised slightly, as was with the Acura RSX we drove recently. That was a little bit compromised, but that was because partial throttle, the tuning was just a little bit off. Whereas here, it's great. It works like a stock Focus ST, and if, you know, you can't compromise a car when you modify it, unless it's like track use. Not a car like this, a daily driver hatchback. If you compromise anything other than the exhaust, frankly, you just look like an idiot. Dynamically, this car is awesome. You can predict the oversteer. I haven't really encountered understeer, but we're on the street, so that's probably a good sign, though. I mean, when you get to the limit, obviously you can induce understeer in pretty much any car. You just have to be careful when you put on the throttle coming out of a corner. That's the only thing. All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching. My name is Marcus. As always, you are watching Roads Untraveled. This has been the Focus ST, a modified Focus ST. Thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe on YouTube if you haven't already. Hit us up on Instagram at Roads Untraveled. Listen to our podcast where me and a bunch of friends gather around and just talk about cars, and sometimes not cars. People have got arrested on the show before. That's pretty hilarious. Thanks, guys, for watching. We'll see you next time.